I just spent the last like 30 minutes fixing my camera lighting because it's fucking broken. Oh, technology. I gotta love it. Alright, so what I want to talk about is decks that I would like to see in current meta. So, you know, a lot of people want the decks change, because, you know, every meta, you know, it slightly changes and new decks come out, new sets come out in Yu-Gi-Oh! And things that are consistently played in the top, like, 5 or 6 that are relevant decks that, you know, people, if you actually want to win, you play. So, I was always wondering, or what it would be like, if you could take an old deck that has been stripped of its shit and put it back at full power and took it against these other decks that are still raping, and how they would compete. I'm not always saying, like, that they would necessarily beat them, but it would just be interesting to see them at their full power, like, Dark Worlds. Now, Dark Worlds, even at full power, are not a very relevant deck, I feel like, in this format. I could be wrong, but I don't think they would be, even if they had the cards that they could have at their disposal. And what I mean is that more like full power. I'm not talking like giving them like everything. But back to Morphing Jar at 1, back to card destruction. That was pretty much the only card that took away that I really needed. Like yeah, it might only seem like 2 cards, but I feel like when I play Dark Worlds now, it's just kind of like, it's not the same. I don't know. Like, my Morphing Jar and card destruction really gave me it. And the thing is, not even that many people played the Morphing Jar. It was kind of like a hit and miss tech, I guess you could say. And the card destruction was just badass. Pretty sure Dragon Rollers is what ruined that. Maybe it was partly Dark Worlds. It's been a while. It's been a minute. But I think it was Dragon Rollers that ruined card destruction, because they would play it. But, the fuck, man? Anyways, if you just gave them card destruction, gave them Morphing Jar, and with this current meta, would it help? I don't think so. It wouldn't be relevant. To my understanding, I don't think it would be. Would it help them a little bit? Yeah. Give them card destruction, it could help out. I mean, it's not like a mandatory, but I mean, hey, one more card. It's one more card. It's one more thing. And card destruction is a pretty powerful card. Same with Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar, I feel like, is an awesome card, and I think it deserves to be banned, but you know, I think it's a personal great card. But most people, when you play Dark Worlds, unless you played it first turn, if somebody sets a card face down defense position, you mostly knew it was Morphing Jar, especially if it was second game in, and they already did it once. But another example would this be is I'd like to see what full power Dragon Rollers would be like against current decks. I don't know how that would be. I honestly don't. Because it's like, if you've never actually seen them face each other even remotely, because like there's not even like a mild form of Dragon Rollers now. Like it's dead. Like they're banned. But I wonder what it would be like if they took the Dragon Rollers back when, maybe not at full power, because maybe that wouldn't be fair. Like I said, I can't even say. I don't even know. But Dragon Rollers maybe where they were, didn't they put them all down to 2 at once? It's been a minute. Say if they were just all at 2, the Rollers were all at 2, and then they still have the babies or whatever. How would that be? How would that fare? Would it still just completely destroy everything because of the rank 7s and the Big Eye and the Draco Sack? And do we even have some better rank 7s now? The Red Eyes one? I don't know. Would it really just destroy what we currently have? I think Dragon Rollers might be. I feel like it's a good example of a deck that could actually, for some reason, if Konami wanted to, which they won't, but if they did, brought back Dragon Rollers at that strength, I feel like it would be something that's like impactful. It would make the meta. It would be a good matchup. It would be something to see. Kind of like 6 Sams. 6 Sams is another one of those decks that I would like to see at full power again with 3 Gateway. I don't think it would make as big of an impact, because, like I said, the game is just different now how things work. It's just how it is. 6 Sams haven't been at full power for years. But I feel like when you give decks full power, while they might not be able to take out current decks, they will be able to do something to a degree that would make them... It's kind of like, I want to see a power level. I don't know. This is just me ranting and talking. I don't even know. I'm just blabbering. But it's interesting to see, like, how do they stack? What do we think was so god-awfully strong and just asinine back just a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, to now, and then find out that with newer decks, it's just not even, like, a big deal? Like, 3-4 years ago, Inzectors. Huge. Everybody hated it. Everybody hated playing against it. It was that deck, you know what I mean? It was just, like, that shit. And I feel like if you put Inzectors at full strength, I don't think it would matter. Like, Hornet isn't that powerful of a card as it once was. Targeting one card and destroying it ain't a big deal in this game right now. Like, we have 2 Dark Holes and Raigeki, nobody even really plays that shit. destroying is not even a big deal. You want to return to the hand, return to the deck, or banish. Like, if Inzector Horde and banish, maybe a different story, but it doesn't. Now, this is a deck that I think would actually make a big deal. If you gave Spellbook of Judgment back to 3 to Spellbooks and made everything back to, like, normal. Like, there's nothing... Spellbooks has everything they can use. I feel like back when that deck was like a grand, that could rape. Maybe not rape, but it would definitely be up in the top 3 decks. Spellbooks was powerful back then. I mean, it was weird back then. It was uncanny also, to the degree of, like, what our speed of decks were at, and then just Dragon Rollers and Spellbooks was like, what the hell? I mean, that's pretty much what you see at the tournament. You'd see like 70% Dragon Rollers, 30% Spellbooks. Like, that's pretty much what tournaments were. At least currently now, while people might hate the meta of what it currently is, you can at least say for the past, like, year or so, at least there's more like a top 4 or 5 decks instead of just 2, which is better, and that format was retarded, but it's also something to learn from. So yeah, while this video was a rant, I was more stating, like, how do I put this? Possibilities. Things I'd like to see. I just want to see the decks that we were all terrified of, and people spend money on, and we thought were just overly huge assholes, or not necessarily assholes, like, because I like Spellbooks. Spellbooks are fun. But just see them how they would stack. That's pretty much the opinion of this. Now, obviously, if you go back too far, it's like 2006, that deck ain't gonna do shit. Like, I don't feel like Dino Rabbit. No. Dino Rabbit was like a big thing, but now, no. It's not. It wouldn't do anything now. I don't think so, anyways. I mean, Dino Rabbit's just slow, and it's not anything near what it was before. So, yeah, let me know down below what decks you would like to see back at full power. That's pretty much just me ranting and talking to a camera, because it's YouTube, and I have a camera and a computer and a semi-functioning light that's staring into my eyes. But yeah, let me know, what decks would you see? Like, I mentioned Dark World, Spellbooks, 6 Sams, and Dragon Rulers. I know there's plenty more. Oh, I kind of semi-Rescue Rabbit, but what decks would you like to see at full power face the current meta? What they could compete? Or maybe decks that were at full power that would face another deck that hasn't been at full power. Maybe like Dragon Roller or Spellbooks at full power versus some very, very old deck at full power. Things of that nature. Let me know down below what decks you would like to see versus each other in some like ultimate grand tournament of the nostalgia. Yeah. Rights reserved. Do you remember when you were a kid and you'd get a holographic card? I'm talking like kid, and you'd be like, oh my god, it's a holographic. But then like when you actually got into the game, you read it and you're like, this card's poop. This card's a whole lot of poop.